thought about what the world would be like if widespread terrorism was reduced significantly throughout different societies? Well, today I'm going to explain to you the benefits of implementing newly advanced technological devices that would detect and prevent terrorist activities from occurring at the rate in which they have been for several decades. The most devastating and recorded terrorist event from the United States dates all the way back to the 9/11/2001 terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center, and the Pentagon. The 9/11/2001 terrorist attacks has wrongfully impacted financial, environmental, and social stability of our nation. $2.3 trillion went missing from the Pentagon the day before 9/11/2001 on September 10, 2001. Secretary of State Donald Rumsfeld made this announcement on national television. Ecoterrorism has caused widespread damage and altered the environments and landscapes at Ground Zero in Manhattan, where the terrorist events took place. In addition, people have reported feeling unsafe to go on flights, to go into skyscrapers, or to even attend mass events after the 9/11/2001 terrorist attacks. What this means is that our national security is threatened by Al-Qaeda extremism, and newly enhanced technological devices should be implemented to detect and prevent terrorist activity from occurring at the rate at which it has been. Now, some people might argue against newly technological advancements and say new technological advancements can deplete natural resources and extract minerals from the environment. Some people might even say that they could extract materials such as metal ores, rare earth materials, petroleum, so on and so forth, and that this can lead to scarcity and shortages within the environment. Another argument that people might pose to implementing newly technologically advanced devices for national security protection would be that civilians may not prefer to go through long screening tests before they go onto flights on planes. However, there is actually various benefits to implementing newly advanced technological devices in our national security to ensure that civilian safety is not put at risk and civilians' lives can be saved. According to the Global Terrorism Database Center, or the GTD, statistical analysis within the United States reports approximately 2,977 people were killed from the attacks of September 11, 2001. The total amount of lives lost calculated to 3,003 within the same year. The global average death toll within the past decade has ranged from 8,000 in 2010 to 44,000 in the year of 2014. In 2017, an estimated 26,445 innocent lives were lost from global terrorism alone. Fortunately, the Department of Homeland Security utilizes devices to reduce the rate of terrorism, such as satellites, drones, sensors, and artificial intelligence. Another reason why newly advanced technological devices should be implemented to reduce the rate of terrorism is because it not only affects people's lives and the safety of civilians, however, it also negatively impacts the environment in so many different diverse ways. Ecoterrorism is the action of causing deliberate environmental damage in order to further political ends. Ecoterrorism leads to changes in CO2 emissions. Research illustrates that emissions such as carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide concentrations were most significant after the effects of the 9/11-2001 terrorist attacks and impacted air quality the most throughout history. Deforestation and ecosystem destruction is also an effect of ecoterrorism. Terrorists slowly destroy the environment, and the surrounding environments near Manhattan at ground zero may never fully recover from all of the toxic contaminants that were released. Soils, plants that have deep foliage, and structures of natural habitats are lost due to all of the pollution that was emitted from those violent attacks. Ecoterrorism also leads to the depletion of natural resources. Oil fields are depleted, which leads to ecological thresholds, which means that natural systems struggle or cannot return to their original or natural state. This is a major problem throughout in our entire biosphere. Ecoterrorism also affects the loss of wildlife. Contaminants impact water, air, soil, and water quality. Landscapes are altered and craters develop as well. The surrounding wildlife impacted, and this leads to animals migrating from those surrounding areas. Animals migrating then leads to aquatic species not being able to synthesize nutrients properly, and then this leads to animals' survival rate and growth rate at a very steep decline. Another effect of ecoterrorism has to do with the release of harmful contaminants. Sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and carbon monoxide, coefficient of Hayes particle, and the inhalable particles PM10 leads to health effects, which leads to respiratory conditions, which leads to hospitalizations from patients, which leads to increased risk of diseases such as sinusitis, otitis, bronchitis, influenza, asthma, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. A paper published in the United States Department of Justice examines various methods in which technology can detect and prevent terrorist events. Improvements in data sharing, including biometric smart ID cards. Also increased border security/control. Securing your borders is very important in preventing violent terrorist strikes from ever occurring. Implementing digital surveillances, increasing the rate of which digital surveillances occur. Also, face recognition technology is another way that you can prevent terrorist activities from occurring and to detect and prevent them from happening in the future. In addition, expanding the National Crime Information Center to accept more information from federal, state, and local agencies to obtain accurate information pertaining to affiliated terrorist groups. These methods and procedures can all be implemented to reduce the rate at which global terrorism, specifically referring to the 9/11 terrorist attacks, will occur. It is clear that preventative measures need to be put into effect to decrease activity of violent terrorist organizations and acts of intimidation, along with core zone tactics to control governments and individuals as well. All countries deserve equal rights to a secure nation, not just a few nations, but all nations around the entire earth. In addition, people should not have to be afraid or intimidated by extreme terrorism to just walk outside of their houses during the day or to feel afraid to do daily activities. The environment should also not have to suffer from violent strikes as a result, which is why it is very imperative for governments to team together and increase their security of their national security. Following these procedures will not only strengthen the overall national security intelligence, but will also save innocent lives and create a peaceful environment where people will not have to feel afraid or intimidated or manipulated by terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda or other affiliated terrorist organizations. It is very important for national security to increase their security at their borders and all around through airline securities as well, to prevent terrorist events such as the 9/11 2001 terrorist attacks from ever happening again. Some of the environment will not be able to be reversed, unfortunately. Some of the detrimental impacts to the environment have been long-lasting and will be staying that way for several decades to come. But our nation can step up and change our rights, and nations all across the entire earth, to ensure that the safety of civilians and everybody within the entire world can be protected.